Hey folks, just want to give you a quick introduction on the simulation, or I should say the interactive for our solar system exploration. So here's our connecting link. So all you have to do is click on it and then click overview of our solar system, and it'll take you to the NASA webpage. It's got a really cool interactive program for our solar system. So everything from planets, dwarf planets, our solar system, broken up in the sun, the asteroids we were talking about, the Kuiper Belt, Oort cloud. We can look at the moons of different planets and talk about asteroids, comets, and meteors. So if we take a look back here, directions: collect information on each part of our solar system presented in the NASA Interactive through the link above. All right, hooked up with that. Now, our solar system, where we can get the data for this. It's pretty straightforward. So here we have the number of planets, the number of dwarf planets, how many moons are in our solar system, the number of asteroids, and finally the number of comets. And that's going to be what we're going to be filling in over here in this section, folks. All right, planets are already done for you. So how do we get to the different parts of the solar system that we're going to be looking at? So the sun. Let's just start with, what do we want to find? We want to find two interesting facts. We want to figure out the type of the star that it is, the age of the sun, and then some need-to-know things about the sun. So some of the facts and the descriptions from that. And I'll show you where to get this information. We're going to talk more about types of stars next week, but it's a great introduction. So the sun, how do we get there? Well, here's our solar system. Up here on this, we'll then move down and click on sun. And so here we can figure out the type of star. We have a yellow dwarf star, and the age is about 4.5 billion years. So what you would do is you would then type that into type of star and the age. How do we get our sun facts? Well, if you scroll down here, we have some sun facts. You choose which ones you think are the most interesting to you. You could actually just highlight, is located at the center of our solar system, about 93 million miles away from Earth. You can right click, you can copy, and then you can just put this in. Make sure you paste without formatting. So what really that means is it's going to take on the formatting of the document that we already have. All right. So then you'll do type of star, the age. Well, where is this need to know things about the sun? Well, that's further down. You can actually click on it, 10 things to know about the sun, or you could scroll down to where it says 10 things to know about the sun. You can close this out. What I'd like you to do is find the 5 most interesting facts that you have. So this one we can say, all right, different spins. All right, it spins differently. What do they mean by that? At the equator, the sun spins once about every 25 days, but at the poles, the sun rotates once on its axis every 35 Earth days. So that's pretty crazy. So what I can do is I highlighted different spins. I right-clicked, I copied. Here I can do right-click and then paste without formatting. And then we can go over here, and I can then highlight and copy. This stuff is interesting. Different parts of the sun spin at different rates. That's crazy. And so paste without formatting. Now, it's going to be mostly the same when it comes time for the different planets, but let me just show you one of these for Mercury. So that's our first planet we come to. So if you ever get lost, you can always just click back on this little circling solar system, and that's going to take you back kind of the home page there, and it's going to show you just kind of a perspective of the solar system. It might take a little bit to download just because there's a lot of information on this, and it's actually live. Let me just scroll out of that. Actually, let's close that out, and then we can go to planets here. So the first one let's try is Mercury. So Mercury, we can get some information from it. Actually, all of this information right here is in our Earth Science reference tables. So that's not really something that we're going to really find ourselves getting too much more information about. But if over here on the left-hand side, if you scroll down, we can figure out what is the nickname of Mercury and how many moons does it have. So the nickname of Mercury is Roman god of speed. So I'm clicking and dragging. I'll right-click to highlight it, copy. So the nickname is Roman god of speed, and there are 0 moons. So need to know things about Mars. Well, once again, we can scroll down here, just click on more, and you can scroll or you can click on 10 things to know about Mars. And again, you can then choose what are the different 5 facts you found the most interesting about Venus. I know I said Mars. I apologize. If we go back down at the bottom of this, the last thing you want to do for every single planet is going to be, you're going to find an image of that planet. So the title of the image and describe it, and then actually click and put the image in there. So let me show you where you can find the images. if you scroll back up to the top here, we can see overview, in-depth, by the numbers, exploration, and finally we get to something called galleries. And galleries is going to show us the different pictures. So find the picture that's most interesting to you. So here I'm going to scroll down, and this one looks pretty big, or I mean pretty cool to me. It looks like an impact crater hit Mercury. So I'm going to click on that, and it's called the Bright Rays of Mena. And so here is an impact crater, and all these lines are projectiles that comes out from it. So to get that picture, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to copy image. I'll go back up to my Exploring Earth solar system, and notice I'm going to right click here, and I'm going to do a paste. But watch how big the image is. It's so big it goes onto the next page. So what you can do is you actually click the image, and notice these little boxes. These are tools that you can use to drag to make it smaller or bigger. How about we just make it a little bit smaller so that we can keep it all on one page? Takes us up there, and here we are. Okay, now image, title, and description. Where do we get that? Well, if we look to the top, the Bright Rays of Mena. Now, we'll figure out what Mena is in a second. Again, right-click and paste without formatting. That means it's going to not take the formatting from the website, but it's going to keep the formatting for us here. And then press Enter. And then let's get the description for this. So what is this? Well, the young rays of Mena crater contrast brightly against the surrounding surface through the rays will gradually fade away with time. So what is actually happening? These are the line grooves that are made by the projectiles when the crater hit, and we can see that just because of the way that the light is hitting it. And we can then paste without formatting, and there's our description. So we can do that for all the different planets. We've got Venus next, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. We have then next is Saturn, Uranus, and then we come to, where was it? Neptune, the last planet in our solar system. Now, beyond that, we're going to be exploring a little bit. There's something happened with the formatting. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do anything with this page, so continue to the next one. I want to investigate Pluto. And so how do you find Pluto? So Pluto, you're going to go up here to planets. And here are all the regular planets, but Pluto is actually a dwarf planet. So click on Pluto, and you'll be able to get its nickname. Pluto has, I think there's a couple moons that Pluto has, and we can also get some interesting facts about it. So once it loads up, again, take a look over on the right-hand side. I'm sorry, not the right-hand side, the left-hand side here. It's Roman god of the underworld, and it has 5 moons. And once again, if you want to get your 5 facts about it, the 10 top things, you choose what's the 5 most interesting to you. You can select those and put those in here for fact and description. The overview, once again, you want to go back up to the top, and you can go to the galleries of Pluto, take a look at some pictures, and you can choose which ones are best for you. Now, the final thing that we're going to do for this exploration is look at something called the moons. So we have a moon for the Earth. We know about that a little bit. But we also have this one called Io, and it's only one of Jupiter's 79 moons. So where do you find the information about that? Well, here in the galleries, we can go over to moons. And so we can pick on Earth's moon, or we could go to Jupiter, and there's one of those moons, and specifically the one I want to look at is called Io, I-O. It's actually the most volcanic object in the solar system. All right, so here, click on Io right here, and we can get some data about it. Now, what you're going to see is that Io is a moon, but it does not have any moons itself. So over here on the side, we're only going to find the nickname for it. Can I once again let this load up? So it does not have any moons. So if you go back to your sheet right here, it's going to say NA not applicable. Okay, and that'll be it. That'll be the rest of it. Okay, so there's a blank page right at the end, so it's not a total of 14 pages. We're going to finish up with one moon from Jupiter and one moon, our moon here from Earth, on top of just looking at dwarf planets. One dwarf planet, the most famous one, which is Pluto. Hopefully that helped. If you got any questions, let me know.